The very first example that we are going to do is the same one as our partial quotients. I just want you to see how they're the same, and I also want you to see how they're different. So for the U.S. standard algorithm, I only draw 2 brackets, and inside that I'm going to write that 360. So it's just like partial quotients and the fact that we set it up the same, except for we are missing that really long line. Now before we get started, I want to tell you of a few simple steps that help me remember what I'm supposed to do, and that's called daddy, mother, sister, brother. Daddy stands for divide. Mother stands for multiply. Sister stands for subtract. And brother stands for bring down. Hopefully you all can read that. So the very first thing when I'm attempting my U.S. standard division algorithm problem is I cover up these numbers and I try to look at that very first number, the one that's closest to this line, and I think to myself, how many times can 3 go into 3? I don't look at the other numbers. I'm just trying to figure out how many times does 3 divide into that 3. And I know 3 divides into 3 one time. And if it divides into it one time, I'm going to write that 1 directly above the 3. Now my dad says I divide, my mother says multiply. So 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, and I'm going to write that 3 right underneath here. My sister says subtract, and I get nothing left over. And my brother says bring down, and I'm going to bring that 6 down. Okay, something that you need to remember is that we always repeat these steps. So I go ahead and look at 3 divides into 6. How many times? 3 can divide into 6 2 times. I take my 3 and multiply it by my 2. I get 6. Sister says subtract, and I get nothing left over. My brother then says if there's any numbers left over, you need to bring that number down. Now I need to think to myself, how many times does 3 divide into 0? 3 divides into 0 0 times, and I'm going to write a 0 on top. And I am all finished. 360 divided by 3 equals 120. We got that same exact answer for partial quotients, 120. Tomorrow.